Hello, everybody. Can hear me? Thumbs up. Awesome. Ricardo, are you here?
I'm here, Lucinda.
Oh, great. Awesome. Okay, great. We'll just give it another few seconds for a few more people to join. Hope you're all keeping well. Anybody new on today's call? Yeah, we had actually a long weekend here in Vancouver, Sal. I didn't do much, but sometimes it's like good to take it easy rather than going away all the time. And we actually have quite a few forest fires here in BC, like Canada. So it kind of makes travel a little hard.
It seems
Ricardo?
that it seems that you have your vaccine because I could see in your
Oh, yeah, I got my
with you.
second dose. I got my
Oh,
second
that's
dose just
great.
like 2 hours ago. Yeah, got my second dose 2 hours
Okay.
ago. Yeah, I actually feel I felt fine after the first one. A little bit tired. After this one though, um, I feel fine, like nothing concerning, but feel a little bit like off balance. But which kind of then reminded me of like how Tom is feeling. Since yeah,
I'm sure you'll be fine. Definitely, you'll
yeah,
be fine.
yeah,
That's good.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, and the second one is a little stronger. So, but yeah, so far so good, and just kind of happy to move on with that and travel easier. For many of you who probably don't know, I'm actually originally from Ireland, so like I kind of pronounce it a little bit different, but Ireland's like meaning in Europe, like next to the UK. And all my family's there, so I'm very excited to be able to hopefully travel home and see them. So that's probably, yeah, the greatest thing about getting the vaccine today. Looking forward to that. But
Yeah,
okay.
that would be great seeing your family
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So do we have anybody new on the call? If you're new, please let us know in the chat. Um, but oh, Nor, are you new? Um, if you're new, you're more than welcome to come on and say hello.
Yes, I
You're
am. I am.
new.
This is
Welcome.
Hi,
Thank you.
Nor.
Hello.
Is this your very first like coaching call that
Yes, it
you're
is.
joining? Okay,
It
great.
is. It is.
Okay. Well, my name is Lucinda. And yeah, like a little bit about me. I worked for Tom's old like skincare company called Zadara. I was the operations manager there. We were a very small team of like 4 to 5 people, like full-time employees. And that business was actually acquired the end of last year. So throughout that whole entire experience, that's kind of where I gained a lot of my Amazon experience. We were, primarily an Amazon brand. And yeah, throughout that entire experience, like I said, yeah, I learned a lot, and I'm just here to share all of that. Since finishing up at Sadara, I've just been helping like other Amazon sellers, like kind of help make their business a little bit more efficient so that they can like hire a team and focus on what they like to do. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. Ricardo, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, Nor, I'm Ricardo, and also I saw that Jake is not the new, but it's his first
Mm-hmm.
time joining our coach calling. And welcome here, Jake and Nor, and I'm Ricardo, and I'm doing the sourcing and also the things that are needed for our team. I mean, for Tom's team to have a good product. So I do the negotiation and also the sourcing job for the team. And I've been with Tom for since 2019. But before joining Tom, I've been doing this for 15 years already. So in this call, we'll share things about sourcing, logistics, and also negotiation. So hopefully, me and Lucinda could help you with
Mm-hmm.
any questions that you'll throw to us. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Yeah. And welcome, Dorothy, too. I know this is your first call also. So a few new people. So yeah, how we like start off these calls is we just go through the questions that were submitted prior. And then we always have time at the end just to go over any questions that come through in the chat, or if anybody would like to come on and, verbally like ask a question or bring up a certain topic that they'd like to go over. So with that said, I'm going to jump over just to the questions here. And this could be the same Jake, but anyway, first question is from Jake, and the question is, how do I arrange the communication between my freight forwarder and supplier? I received FOB quotes from my supplier and freight forwarder. Do I just introduce them to each other via email or let them arrange the details? How does the process work in detail? Thanks. So I find that this really depends on the freight forwarder that you're working with. So how I do it, and I ship most of my products through Forwarder One. Usually when you schedule, like when you submit a quote and you approve it, they'll ask for your manufacturer or like the pickup locations, like contact information. So like name and number. That's usually like how it works. You can also ask them if they would like to be introduced, and that would usually be by WeChat. But usually the process is when you book, when you make the freight booking, they will just ask for that contact information, and then your freight forwarder will contact your supplier. And then that's how the communication will happen. But if your supplier like makes any other like special requirements, you can always email the freight forwarder and like mention that. But Ricardo, how do you usually do it?
Yeah, I do the same thing. What I do is I ask the seller and also the the freight forwarder, to communicate with each other, because uh, Jake, it's really sometimes you have to let them communicate with each other rather than you will be the channel of communication, because it's more easy if they communicate, because also they have the same language, so they could communicate easily, and it would be more quick for them to communicate easily. Now, and then another thing, Jake, because I do not know, because you have mentioned here your seller is offering you FOB codes. Now, always ask, because most of the sellers, they always offer that, because they do not want to offer sometimes EXW, because they do not get any rebate from their shipping. Meaning, when they ship a good, sometimes they always get a rebate. Now, also try to ask them what is the price of the EXW, because basically, Jake, for your information, FOB is only good for a full container, because you get a lot of savings when you get the FOB price for a full container. However, try to get also different codes, because we have to be familiar with the different Incoterms, the EXW, the FOB, and then the DDP, those things. So that's my one thing that I would like to share to you also, Jake. Okay.
And Jake, I'm going to just unmute you if you want to. I know that you seem to have a follow-up question to this. So if you just want to ask your question now, go ahead.
Yep. Thank you so much for that helpful answer. Just to clarify on the FOB and EXW, I first asked for the EXW codes. And in addition, I also asked for the FOB quotes. And what they told me is that the FOB price is the same as the EXW, because they have a special arrangement with their own freight forwarder, so they can deliver that to the port at no cost. I think it's their rationale. So I'm not sure how common this is.
Yeah, Jake, that is a good deal with your seller. If they are giving you the same price for the EXW and also the FOB, that would be good, because the thing is, you'll have no more problem in transporting the goods to the port, because sometimes if it's EXW, you have to arrange the trucking of your goods from their warehouse going to the port. So that's a good deal you're getting, Jake. That's good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ricardo. I'm going to jump on to the next question, which is from Jake also. My supplier says they don't accept payment via trade assurance because in the past they've had customers who didn't pay the remaining 70% and Alibaba didn't release the 30% deposit. This supplier is verified, has a long operating history, has good reviews and photos, and has been very responsive. Is it okay for me to just pay via wire in this case, or is it an absolute must that I pay via trade assurance when working with a supplier for a first time? Yeah, Ricardo, I would definitely love your input on this. When I read this question earlier, I was like, yeah, what's your take on it, Ricardo?
Well, Jake, the same Jake, right? Jake, for me, I've been also before this Amazon journey that I had, I always pay through the wire transfer. So I think that would not be a problem as long as you have to verify carefully who is the supplier you're working with, because in my case, the company that I work with, what they did is they relocate me in China so that it would be easier for us to know who is the supplier. So before doing that, you have to do some verification, checking on who they are and all these things, because this is what we did. That is the reason why my company, before they relocate me to China, is for them, before paying them, we have to go to the factory, check on who is the supplier, and check on how they are very much reliable on doing the product. So, I mean, you could pay the 30% via wire transfer, but again, you have to verify carefully who are you dealing with. That's my point there.
So, seeing like, well, I'm just presuming Jake can't, go on site and do
Yeah.
this verification. So would you suggest he does like an inspection? So not like your typical like pre-shipment inspection, but does like an audit prior?
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, that's a good
Mhm.
idea, Lucinda,
Yeah.
because the thing is, for me, before we let our money get out from our bank, we have to know
Mhm.
who are these people.
Mhm.
Who are these people?
Mhm.
So that is a good
So
point.
that's what I would recommend. If for some reason, the supplier, like this is, a new supplier you're working with and they, aren't going to do the trade assurance. And, if you don't know of anybody who's ever used this supplier and you can't really find much information by just like Googling, I would probably do an audit. So you could do an audit through the inspection company we
Correct.
recommend in the course. They do audits as well.
That's correct. Yeah.
So yes, it's an additional cost, but at least it's like peace of mind. And it's also good because you're also just going to get a really good in-depth evaluation of the manufacturing facility, you're going to be doing business with. So yeah, that would be our recommendation if they're not going to do the trade assurance with you. Please let us know if you have any other kind of follow-up questions to that. Or if anybody on this call has ever experienced this, and if they've been able to negotiate it with their supplier to try and do the trade assurance, please let us know, like share your experience in the chat. But that's actually all the questions we got submitted. So I hope some of you have some questions or want to come on and talk about something, because
I have
sometimes I come on.
something.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Yes.
I have something to share, Lucinda, because the thing is,
Yeah.
most of the newcomers, and also, I mean, the one who is doing business in Amazon, once they deal with their seller, sometimes they have this confusion of what are the things that they have to include in their PI. I mean, in their on the PI of the seller, because we know that once the seller has issued you the PI, there are things that we have to consider in order for us to be protected. Okay, now, and after the seller releases you the PI, then basically we have to do the PO. And then in the PO, we have to put all the things that we want I mean, all the things that we want to make ourselves protected. Okay, Lucinda, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, go right ahead. I made you co-host.
Can I do it now? Okay,
Yeah,
here.
you should be able to. While you're pulling that up, I'm just going to answer Katie's question. Well, it's not really, I think it might be a question for us, but she's just saying the shipping, sorry, he or she is saying the shipping cost is so high. I wonder how I can make money. Is there a way to reduce the shipping cost? I presume you've done this, but like definitely, get quotes from multiple different shippers. Don't just get quotes from one shipper. And, look at the Ocean Fast and the Ocean Slow line. Can also, depending on the size of your order, look at, combining like shipments or reaching out to another seller, like another student, and see if you can share a container together. That way you can reduce on the cost of shipping. But yeah, that's really my only recommendations for that.
I'm ready.
Go right ahead.
Okay, here. Can you see my screen now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, here. One thing is, actually, Tom has asked me to create this one so that it would be more easy for the students and also the buyers, the Amazon sellers, to create something that would protect them. So I have created this purchase order thing. So you could see here, there, I mean, all you have to do is I'll submit this to Lucinda, and Lucinda is going to hopefully post this in the group, and I will do this in a Word format. So what you'll do, guys, is you just have to put the buyer's name here and then your address. Then going down, you could see all the things there: the PO issuer, the date, and pro forma invoice. And the PO reference, you have to make this one also. So there you go. So we have the seller here. You put the seller name and their office, the point of contact, which is normally the agent that you are talking with, and their contact number. So here you go. You can see this also, the payment via trade assurance or EFT, that means electronic fund transfer. And then you could see additional pages for details, because in the succeeding pages, you will see the details of the supplier also. Now going down here, there, this is very important. You have to put there the specification of your product, because sometimes in the PI, you would only see the product name and then some small details only. So this is very important. Also the insert card and all those things there. And here you could see attached illustration. In the succeeding page, you would attach the photo of your product. And then here, next is the total amount.
This is awesome. This is so good. Yeah, it's like a checklist.
And then, yes, yeah, you're right, Lucinda. It is like a checklist. But this one, you could already input some details in order for you to, I mean, it's more easy doing this one here. So here, you see the delivery and payment option, I mean, payment information. So if you have a sample, then date of delivery and the fee, and then bulk product. The production sample, I mean, that is very important, because you should ask a production sample. So while they are doing the production, then they will make a sample, and then it will be sent to you. So whatever you receive is the product that you're going to get in your delivery. So now, shipping breakdown, you could see here by sea and by air, because sometimes we do like we want our products to be in our store immediately. So by air, so you probably be like sending 20% of your shipment of your bulk order, and then the 80% will be done by sea. So see there, why can't I? And then going down. So additional information, see the additional terms and conditions. Then you'll see that later. because in the terms and conditions, you will see that you are being protected. Okay. Then if you have also the F and SKU ready, then I have arranged a page wherein you'll go into to paste that in in this form. And then the package die line, the package, and then the die line. If it is customized, so you'll just have to attach a picture there, and then also the FBA label. If it is available, then attach it there. But normally, going back to the F and SKU, normally it is not yet available sometimes. But if it's a reorder, so definitely it will be available. It will be readily available. So if it's not available, you could put there to follow, because basically the on the process of doing the order, sometimes something comes up into your mind, like, okay, I want to do some product to join my product. So those things. So you could not create your F and SKU immediately. So now there goes going down there, because this is also important, because sometimes the seller would say, why is my bank account is not present in your PO? So we just have to have this one there, and then put their bank account, if that is via EFT or telegraphic transfer. If other payment, you could put it there. Then you could put there the details of their trade assurance thing and all those things, because this is very important also. And then going down there, the product additional information. So you could put the photo of your product in this PO also. And
This
then
is
going down,
amazing.
and going down is the terms
Got
and
the terms.
yes. So this is very important also. See, I mean, you could see there that medium of communication, it is very important also. The sample fee, take note of this. All the sample fee should be deductible from the final invoice. That is very important. I mean, it's a small thing, but sometimes we forget about these things, because we are very excited to have our products delivered. So sometimes when they issue you the invoice, we forgot to tell them that, oh, I remember you told me that you're going to deduct the sample fee. I mean, if it's a small thing, I mean, still it's money. So you have to take note that it should be deducted from their final invoice. Then the input term. Now, sometimes in the process, we would say, okay, I want it EXW. But in the process of production, you would know that, oh, I think it's better to have it changed. I mean, I want it to be FOB. So the buyer, we can change the input term of the contract, but of course, there will be a price adjustment on that. Then here we go, the inspection and acceptance, you can see there. And I have mentioned here, the seller must repair or replace the non-conforming supplies at no increase in the contract price. And then also here, however, if a second inspection is a requisite, because sometimes you would be having doubt on the first inspection, so you would require another inspection, but it must be in the terms and conditions that the second inspection fee should be on their account already, and also the succeeding inspection fees. So you could see there. The buyer assigns third-party inspection will be randomly performed. Okay, and then goes down there. Now, for the delays, Now, sometimes, I mean, I have experienced some delays already. So they have to prove to you why it is being delayed. So these are the excusable delays that you could tell them. Otherwise, then here also, if there is a delay, and then the seller would tell you, oh, I choose terminating the contract. So it is written here also that the seller must fully refund any payment by the buyer. Okay, down there, goes down here. Now, if you would see the non-compliance on delivery schedule, I put a highlight on the 1% weekly, because before releasing this PO, you have to negotiate with your supplier. Ask them, is 1% good, or do you think 1% is not good? So you could probably put there 2%. So you have your discretion. So you as the seller, seller. It should be the buyer. Sorry about this one. I will revise this one. The buyer can negotiate. You should negotiate on the percentage deduction. Okay, and here goes the payment and items accepted. I highlighted this one here. Okay, again, this should be you, the buyer. The buyer should negotiate the balance payment term, because sometimes, in my experience, sometimes the seller agrees. The seller agrees that the payment should be done when the goods arrive the destination port. Sometimes they agree on that. So it's your way of how you would negotiate that with your seller. So here I would change this one later. This should be buyer should negotiate the balance payment term. And there you go. And then we go down here. Additional, I mean, it's all there. And then the termination of the buyer's convenience. Because sometimes we guys, we have this thinking that should I continue on this project or should I terminate it? So I have written here also that we have the right to terminate the contract. But of course, you have to know that the seller has the reserve. I mean, it's just fair that the seller reserves the right not to do any refund of payment made by the buyer. I have to correct this one again. Okay, sorry about that. And then the warranty here. Okay, seller warrants and applies that the items delivered here under our merchant. I mean, all has to be good, 100% good. So you just here there's a box here wherein the seller should confirm, and they have to sign the seller's authorized representative and also the owner, so that the owner sometimes, because sometimes the agent you're talking to, they do not relay everything to their boss. So let them their boss sign on the page. So here, so you could see here.
Perfect.
The supplies products there.
Yeah, I love how there's the space here for the attachments for the photos.
You could see there the F
so important, yeah.
And then the FBA labels and those things. But if it's not yet available, you could just put there to follow. At least if you have this form, your seller would always see the form and they would ask, oh, where's the FBA label? Well, where is the FNSKU? So they would definitely inform you on these things here. So,
it's a good guide for both parties. Exactly like you just said there, even if you don't have the FBA labels right now, at least they know, that these need to be provided at a later date once ready. But this is absolutely amazing, Ricardo. Thank you so much for, putting the time into making this. This will be attached to the call tomorrow. Usually it gets uploaded tomorrow. But I'm sure Tom will also be putting this in, the actual kind of operational section of the course too.
Yeah, because Lucinda, the reason why I'm doing this, because I want things to be more easy for our student, and also for the Amazon seller, because that is our purpose. Why do we have this call, right? So our purpose is to help them and to make things easier for them. Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope this is very helpful for everyone. Okay.
Thank you,
by the
Ricardo.
way, on this part here, because I might have confused you. On this page here, the product supplies additional information. It's not the photo. It's the additional information about your product. Okay. So this is where you would put there, because on the first page you would only see the product dimension, the weight, the master carton, and all those things. Then the materials. So on this second page would be the whole information about your product. Because sometimes, I mean, so hopefully this would help, and hopefully you could use this one there. Okay.
Thank you.
So if you have any if they have,
Nope.
if anyone here have any question about this form, just let us know. If you do not have a question right now, but it comes after the call, you could post it in our group, right, Lucinda? They
Yeah,
could put it.
yeah, the Facebook group. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'll close this out.
I'm actually going to add one thing that I have started using in the last like 2 weeks. And it's this free program online that can generate POs and invoices, and you can customize it. So everything Ricardo has shown, you can add that in there, and all of the terms will just be saved for each supplier. So I'll just share the name of the program here if you want to like sign up for it. But again, it's completely free. So it's called Tradogram. And like I said, you can use Ricardo's guide and just put that inside there for each supplier. So yeah, if anybody's looking to check it out, that is the website. Everything is online. All your POs will be saved there. You can obviously download them, but it also just helps you track to what like payment. So again, as you kind of scale your business, if you want to give your accountant or anything like access to it, whoever's taking care of your invoices for suppliers, it also just tracks all of the procurement of your orders.
And another thing, I want to add something on that also. I mean, if you guys, I mean, you have seen the form, okay? Now, if you think, you would say, oh, that's a long form, and it would be an additional job for you guys. What you could probably do is just tell your supplier to add the terms and condition, and then let them do the work. Give the form, except the first page, of course. Give them the form, and then let them fill out the form. I mean, that would be more easy for you guys also.
And Marissa just confirmed it's already been uploaded. So this form that this template that Ricardo just shared with us, it already has been uploaded to the course. So it's in chapter 2.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us know, Ricardo, Marissa.
Yeah, Marissa, but the thing is, I have to, I was the one who created that also, but the thing is, I have to change the two details there, because I have written there sellers, it should be buyer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
It'll be updated by tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Mistakes happen, right? So I'm going to jump back to some of these questions here that came in. This one's from. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just take a call for a while, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
I'll be back in a few, okay?
Okay, yeah, no problem. We have a question here from John. I read on the Facebook group that people have issues with having insert cards in their packaging. I guess Amazon doesn't like sellers using insert cards. Having an insert card plays a major part in our review strategy. What do you suggest to get around this Amazon stipulation? So I actually went back and reviewed Tom's, like the stuff that's on the course for like what to do and what not to do. It had been a while since I kind of had like looked at that. And yeah, like I presume you have looked at it, but that's the best way of like, he shows it the best way, like what not to do. So basically, you don't want to ask for a positive review on your insert card. You just want to have, an actual like link. So a link to, like the questionnaire or like with the QR code. That's really the only way around it. I haven't heard of anybody getting suspended for that or doing like a warranty card. I have another client who does a lot of warranty cards for that. and that works really well for them. So correct me if I'm wrong, like maybe I've missed that in the Facebook group. If you've read that people have been suspended from doing it the way Tom is doing it, please let me know. But that is, the best way. Like, you just obviously don't want to put on your insert card, like, please give me a 5-star review, or you don't even want to put in like receive a free product. You want to be very, very discreet about it and have that, link to like the review funnel. So yeah, that's kind of really my only input on it in terms of like how to get around it. But it's worked. Like, we did it for Zadara and it worked. And as I said, like, I have other clients who do it as a warranty card and it works. Okay, what other questions here? So from Maria, how can I verify Amazon requirements to sell in my category? I know we already talked about last week, but it wasn't clear because the supplier says they don't need FBA on this product, so they only have ISO. So yeah, you basically just go to like the Seller Central like requirements. Usually even I just like Google like the item I'm looking to sell, and I just put in Seller Central requirements, and it will, bring me to that Seller Central like support page and list exactly like what is required. Yeah, that's like the best source instead of like reading blogs or anything like that, because things change in terms of the requirements. So that is going to be the most up to date. Let me know, Maria, if that doesn't fully kind of make sense, but it's just looking on Seller Central and looking exactly at the category and the product you're trying to sell, and it will specify like what documentation you will need. Yeah, exactly what Sal said, like the QR code. Okay, so we have a question here. I'm actually going to, it was sent directly to me, but I'm going to actually just post it here so that everybody can just see it. I don't think it was meant to be sent privately, but also just so that, Ricardo, you can see it as well. So it's from Erica, I believe. So I would love an in-depth explanation on pallets and FCL. Who prompts the subject of pallets, the supplier, the buyer, or the freight forwarder? I know there is a spot to select pallets in Seller Central, but will all Amazon fulfillment centers accept pallets? What are the benefits of shipping pallets over cartons? Will all Amazon FC accept full container loads? I'll just read it all, then we'll go back to each question. How much of a savings can there be by using an FCL? Approx how many average size cartons fit into an FCL? Curious how many products someone needs to be shipping to utilize a whole container. Yeah, these are like really, like we haven't really actually properly talked about this in depth. So I'm glad you've brought it up. So first question, who prompts the subject of pallets, the supplier, the buyer, or the freight forwarder? I'm trying to think, like, obviously, so like when I was, when I'd be ordering like small orders, yeah, Ricardo, like in your experience, majority of my stuff go by pallet. And I think it's just because that's just like the way it's always been. And it's just like on the size of the order. But Ricardo, what's your take?
Okay. Now, for me, from the very start, I would like to have my goods on a pallet because, it's more safe, even though the product are not, it's not needed to be put in a pallet. The thing is, I prefer putting it in a pallet. Now, your question is who's going to take the expenses of the pallet? Normally, it's us. I mean, the buyer's the ones paying for the pallet. Even the seller would say, oh, the pallet is already included. Still, they're adding costs on that. So basically, it's the buyer who's going to pay for the cost of the pallet.
Sorry, Ricardo, I'm just writing a message. Sorry to interrupt, but Maria, you can, just a side note, Maria, the product or the category you're selling in, feel free to message it to me privately and I can search it for you and send you a link back. But yeah, back to the question. Yeah, I usually, one of the reasons why I would usually send by pallet is for that reason, like that it's more secure.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, like who does it come down to? Often it will be the freight forwarder who, you know, will like suggest what is the best way to ship it. So when you place an order, if you're unsure, you can always ask the manufacturer, you know, like how many cartons is there going to be, like when this is fully packed, and then you can ask the freight forwarder, how do you suggest shipping this? And then they will make, you know, like their recommendation and why, like, you know, based on cost and like based on like the volume of your order. So yeah, I would say it kind of comes down to like the freight forwarder, unless you have any specific requirements for sending it. And usually those requirements would really only be like if you're sending them to like a 3PL, so like your warehouse, like, and not Amazon. But regarding like pallets, I haven't heard of an Amazon warehouse not receiving pallets. But when you create your shipment plan, they're not going to allow you to print labels or anything, or give you like an address for an Amazon fulfillment center that doesn't accept pallets. Like it just won't even be an option when it comes to creating your FBA labels. So you don't need to like worry about that. But I've never come across a situation where a warehouse, like a fulfillment center, has not received. And I've shipped to fulfillment centers like all over.
And then another information, Lucinda. Okay, now for the pallet cost, it's only $13, $11 to $13, and then you could put in like a 400. I mean, it depends on the size of your product. So and basically using a pallet is, I mean, if you have a long product like about let's say it's very hard to handle, you know, I suggest you use a pallet because you know, it's as Lucinda said, it's very very safe to have a pallet. I mean, to have your products on a pallet, especially if your items are large items, are long items.
So then regarding like size. So this is actually something recently that I was doing with Forwarder One, trying to fill a container to go out this month. And I'm trying to remember the CBM. So the easiest way to do this is to just confirm. You can actually probably just Google this, confirm the CBM for a 20-foot container. 20 foot is the smallest. And even at that, Forwarder One don't even usually always have 20-foot containers. I just learned.
20-foot, yeah. 20-foot container is something like 23 or 24 CBM.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's something along those lines. Yeah. So then you would just, you know, as you're getting, you know, like the packing information from your manufacturer, you know, they'll give you the CBM, or you can easily calculate that just using an online calculator. So yeah, that's the easiest way to find out, you know, the filling of the container, you know, if you have enough goods or you need a little bit more to fully fill it. I think that was all the questions. And then savings, I can't give a dollar or percentage figure on like the savings. What I did for this container is I just asked the quotes from the freight forwarder if they could just confirm like the quotes for sending like the container or the FCL, and that was that. Like I just, again, it's like getting more than one quote, just comparing and seeing. But generally, yes, you do save a lot if you're sending a full container. Like when I was working for Zadara, that's exactly what we did coming up to Q4. We would send a container out in September, like August, September. So we had everything received by October. And yeah, we saved a lot of money doing that. Ricardo, do you want to add anything lastly to that?
And not only that, because if it's a full container, the process in the customs, it's more quick compared to if it's a LCL, a loose cargo loading. LCL means a loose cargo loading. And by the way, I want to correct what I said earlier. A 120-foot container would probably be like 28 to 30 CBM, something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then a 40 would be like 63 CBM. 63 CBM. So that is what I was saying earlier before. I mean, if you could remember this, Lucinda, I was trying to sell all our Amazon sellers to, why don't you join together your products, put them in one container, and then everyone would definitely get a lot of savings. Because if it's something like, if everyone is paying LCL and then by the CBM, you would be probably paying like 11 to 12,000 US dollars. But when you fill up a full 40 container, you would only be paying like let's say 4 to 6,000 US dollars, and that's a lot of savings. So if you guys have a way to communicate with each other, and then make a group, and then tell each other that, okay, let's all ship on September, let's all ship on October, then let's all put our products in one container. Definitely you'll have a lot of savings.
And I actually recently found a post, and I can find it. It was on LinkedIn. It's this company who deal with Amazon suspensions. It's this guy who owns like a company who deals with Amazon suspensions. And he actually posted something on LinkedIn, and it was like a group to join where you could share containers. So I can find that and post it next week. But it's just, yeah, a group of Amazon sellers. And I haven't used it. I don't know anybody who's used it. So yeah, like I obviously can't speak from recommendation, but yeah, I'll share that, and then you can check it out if anybody's interested. But in your experience, Ricardo, do you find that containers vary in price per freight forwarder too, or is it pretty standard?
The pricing
Of the actual just like container?
It's I mean, the pricing is standard with the freight forwarder. I mean, they just like, I mean, for some, they would just like, they would be adding like $100 or $200, something like that. I mean, those are the difference of the pricing.
And please bear in mind, if anybody is, like I said, only like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was in the process of trying to schedule a container that is due to go out this month. And the container was 20 foot. And what the owner of 4-to-1 had said to me was, we actually don't usually ship 20-foot containers. So, you know, it's good that you are giving us like notice for this to, you know, like get one for you. So just bear that in mind. They only usually ship like 40 and 60 foot like containers. So if you are looking for your own container, just don't leave it to the last minute with them. Let me see here.
We have a question from Jake Lee. Yeah, because we have shown them a PO template. So he was asking, is a PO necessary, or is the PI alone is sufficient? Actually, Jake, PI is okay. I have mentioned that also in this group, that what you could probably do if you are if you would be thinking like, oh, there's a lot of work if we do the PO thing, you could probably do is just copy and paste the terms and condition on the PI of the supplier, or you could probably tell the supplier, okay, I want you to fill out this form. Don't give the first page. I want you to fill out this form, the second and the third and the fourth pages, and then attach that in your PI. That's possible. That's really
Mhm.
possible.
Mhm. See here.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you again, Ben,
I
for
know, yeah. It's good to have you on the call.
yeah.
Erica, I can't think of any prices off the top of my head. I can go back and look at quotes and let you know like next week, or if I get it, I can attach it to this call. But no, unfortunately, off the top of my head, I can't. But if anybody regularly ships containers, I noticed Tony's on the call. Maybe he regularly ships containers. If you do, maybe just let us know in the chat how much you usually pay for just the container. No, you don't. Okay.
Not yet for me.
Okay.
Hi,
Okay.
Tony.
Yeah, but I can get some of the quotes and let you know. But like I said, 3 or 4 weeks ago, when I was actually looking, trying to schedule the container, even Forwarder One had said to me, like, yeah, no, like we can't give you like a quote for this container right now. As everybody is aware, prices are changing constantly. Being brutally honest, the last time I shipped a container was with Zadara. Anybody I've been working with since would not be shipping that like size of an order. So yeah. Anybody else got any other questions before we finish up? I'm trying to think if there's anything new in the Amazon world that I've heard of over the last while, but can't think of anything.
Okay, I want to add something also, because in the group, someone asked. Wait, I'll check on that. Okay. Okay, now here's the question of this member in the group. It's he's saying that I know I've already asked a similar question, but I'm stuck. I don't know what to do because I'm trying to finalize a purchase with a vendor. He's asking for 70/30. This is a question that's been always thrown to us, right?
Mhm.
He's asking for 70/30 and appears to be asking through Alibaba. His account has the badges of credibility. My concern is he's asking for wire transfer. Is that right, or is that suspicious? Is that how purchases are generally made? Because now we have the same question before, that it's this it's a 70/30 issue, right?
Mhm.
Now I was saying, actually I replied that a concern. I replied that 70. I have not experienced a 70% payment. I haven't experienced that. And one thing I was telling also, that for every money that we bring out or send out, there is always a cost of money. I mean, of course, I mean, if you have your money kept on your bank for 30 days, I mean, it's there, and it is more safe, and there is a cost of money that is being input on that. So for me, I would prefer paying 30 only, because I do not want my money, my 70% staying on the account of the seller. And also, uh 30% is already giving a trust to your seller. So you have to consider that carefully. And another thing is, it's more safe for you to give out 30% only, because sometimes it happened. I mean, I have experienced this. We paid 50% long before, and it is a lesson for us. We paid 50%, and when something came wrong on the product, we are trying to tell them that you have to fix this, and this thing. But you know what they told us? No, we can't do anything. We just have to stick on that. And that really make us feel bad, because the thing is, with the 50% they got already, they already pay the cost of the labor, the cost of the material, and still they are getting already a little profit on the product that they did. So it is a way of them to hold you, to hold your neck. So better pay only 30%. If you could make it lower than 30%, then that would be better. So here I'm just telling everyone that let's not, let's stick on the term of 25 to 30% and not go to 70%. So that's my that's something I would like to share.
And I think it's important as well to bear in mind that it's good to leave yourself some time for this like negotiation. Even if you're returning to your supplier to do like a reorder, and you're looking to negotiate, like maybe right now the payment terms are 50-50, and they're after hearing this from Ricardo that we recommend 30-70. Often, you do need to give yourself like quite a bit of time for negotiating, because it usually entails like going quiet. So I've just kind of seen this happen with a few clients I've been working with. They've kind of showed me their costs for stuff that they're purchasing, or they've shown me their terms, and I'm like, yeah, like you can definitely, get that price down. But they've left it too late. They should have been like any big sellers, or, people who have like sellers who have plans for Q4, to take part in any of the promotions and stuff, like really should have been ordering like last month or June, if they're looking to send by sea. But now, they've left it really late to be like negotiating before placing their mass production order. So just bear that in mind, like give yourself plenty of time for negotiating, because often, it entails going quiet for like 5 days or so to scare them that you're going to leave and find another supplier. I've just seen it happen with multiple sellers over the last couple of weeks. They've just left it way too late for negotiating. So yeah.
And another thing also I want to add also, because I know some of you experienced this from your seller. They immediately ask you, are you new buying from China? Sometimes you get this question. Tell them, no, I've been buying from China, even though you're new. Just pretend that, small lie can help you. Okay, you just tell them that, no, I've been buying in China many times already. So you just say that, because the thing is, they could use that word in order for them to get into you. You get that? When you say, oh, I'm new buying in China. Oh, they would say, oh, okay, I can ask more payment, initial payment from this guy, because he's new in buying in China. So he would say that he doesn't know anything about China yet. So tell them that I've been buying many things in China. So they would know that you've been doing business with China already. So it's a small lie, but it helps.
Yeah. Something else also, just because there's no other questions coming through, and of course, like both myself and Ricardo like to share, things that we've seen and kind of have experienced. Something else I've noticed that like other sellers have been doing is like they don't attach like photos of like say specific stuff. So that's why I pointed out with like Ricardo's template, it's so good that he has that already there, like the photo of your packaging and FN SKU or anything specific. Definitely like take a photo of it. We're all aware that there can be a bit of that communication barrier, but photos definitely help, and just like like messaging like on the side and arrows pointed and everything. But like recently I was helping a seller enroll in the transparency program. So for anybody who's not aware, basically with the transparency program, it just helps prevent counterfeits. And this seller was working with a supplier who I vetted at the very beginning when I started, taking on some work, and I just didn't think was a very good manufacturer. So sorry, I vetted the manufacturer. I think I said seller. So I vetted the manufacturer, and I didn't think they were a very good manufacturer in terms of just their compliance. And I had just recommended, I think you should really change supplier. They didn't want to listen. And obviously I shouldn't be smiling right now, but anyway, they wish they'd taken my advice. It's come to the point where they've actually had to like bring somebody in and translate everything. But cut a long story short, the reason why I'm saying about the photos is the sales representative he was working with and who he's been working with for, you know, like the last 2 years while he's been selling this product. And he's actually the #1 seller for this product on Amazon. But so he wants to put like the transparency sticker on each of these units, and the sales rep, she was quoting us a very, very high price. It was like 15 cents to apply the sticker, and I just didn't like understand where this price was coming from. I like, in my mind, I was like, even like a supplier in North America wouldn't even charge this. So this is just, you know, like ridiculous. And even though we kept going back explaining, like he kept going back and explaining, like, this is what we want done. Like, why is it this expensive? It's very easy. It's just putting one sticker on, like nothing else is required, you know. And she still wasn't changing the price. And she said she'd spoke to her boss and this was the price he was giving. And so he ended up actually hiring a translator. And once they had that call, and we had like I was on the call and we had that call like with the owner, he was like, oh yeah, no, that's only 5 cents. He was like, I didn't realize that's what had to be done. So what actually happened was the sales rep was just like not understanding it. And it all could have been like, you know, like a better outcome and like 3 weeks cut out of this back and forth if, you know, actual photos had been provided. But, you know, yeah, so that's kind of my story. Why it's just, you know, you can like word it and type it and everything, but photos definitely help.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, because the thing is, we have in our PO that I have indicated the English is the communication tool that they're going to use. So if they would see that immediately, if they would say, oh, I'm not good in this, so they would probably get someone who is good in English, right? I mean, as what you have said, that they got a translator in order for
well, the seller had to hire a translator, which was on
Yes.
his cost, unfortunately, but
That's right.
it was better than having to pay an extra 10 cents for 50,000 units of something. So it would have been like a very large cost. So it was just better to get a translator. But yes, photos would have, you know, fixed this. That's usually how I do it. But obviously when I'm working on a contract basis, I don't have anything to do with sellers. Like I don't communicate with sellers, manufacturers, that's their relationship. But yeah, photos, and you know, putting in arrows and words and everything like that. And the same when you do inspections, you know, being as detailed as possible. But that is just a little tip. And again, as I said, something I've just kind of noticed over the last kind of like 2 to 3 months. That's like a regular occurrence. And, you know, you definitely kind of want to avoid that because it can become additional cost if clear instructions aren't given. And especially when you've already put your deposit down and, you know, you're close to your production finishing. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I want to add something on that. I mean, we're about to close already, but the thing is, Lucinda, that's correct. I mean, photos are very useful because if you would notice also, some of your seller would ask you, if you are asking, can you give me a code for this product? I'm looking for this product. Immediately they would tell you, can you show me a photo? Some sellers do that. So, you know, Lucinda is very, very, that is very informative, Lucinda, that photos are very useful for the Chinese suppliers. So that is very important also. Okay.
Well, I hope that and everything else provided value. I know that somebody else did ask in the chat if the template that Ricardo has, that Ricardo showed us, if it's been uploaded to the course. It is, however, there's just 2 things that need to be just revised. Yes. So just check tomorrow. It should be updated by tomorrow. As I said, we send it to the team after this call, and then they usually get around to uploading it tomorrow morning. You know, it's the evening time here now. And I know a few of you have been asking as well, that you've kind of been missing these calls just because of the time change. But please remember they are recorded. And if you do have any questions, just upload them to the sheet and we will answer them. And yeah, keep your questions coming in the Facebook group. Just tag myself and Ricardo and we will answer them. But yeah, that's all for now.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody have a good week. And we will catch you next week. Okay. Take care,
We'll see you,
everybody.
everyone. Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Lucinda.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Ricardo.